Hey, hey, you guys. It's me, Delores, the pastor's daughter. What is going on? What's going on, y'all? What's up? Get on in here, honey. We got a good topic today. Something I've been thinking about lately. And I want to just bring it to y'all. I haven't done any notes or anything. It just really is something I was thinking about. And I was thinking about it because somebody I was listening to, it's a guy I just discovered on YouTube, and I've been listening to him. I'm not gonna tell y'all the channel because I don't recommend men's channels to my daughters. Okay, hey daughters, I don't recommend men's channels. So I watch it myself, and then I just come back to y'all and let y'all know what y'all need to know. Okay, I come back and give y'all the tea. Okay, but y'all ain't gotta go over there and watch it, y'all, because I know how to filter. I know how to filter information, and I don't think that all of us really know how to do that. And so I feel like I would be being reckless if I was to say, hey, go over there and watch, that content. And, you know, you don't really know how to filter it, and get what you can get from it and take the rest. They say, you eat the meat and leave the bones, child. Some of y'all be eating the bones and the wrapper it came in and everything, child, because y'all don't know how to filter it. So that's okay though. We'll learn. We'll learn how to do that. We're gonna learn that together. Um, no big deal. But yeah, I was just kind of thinking about this, kind of like this topic, the lost art of being a lady. And I was thinking about this because I was listening to this podcaster say, he was talking about men asking a woman what, well, not a woman, a lady, what she brings to the table. And he said, men don't ask a lady that, they might ask a woman, female, but they don't ask a lady that. So he started going into like, okay, the difference between a woman, a lady, a female, that type of thing. So he went on into that topic. And it just got me to thinking, like, I have never had a man ask me what I bring to the table. And I don't think I really realized that until like that very moment. And I was just like, no one has ever asked me that. Um, you guys know I've been married a few times. I've been married 4 times, okay? 4 times. I admit that. I really admit that. And I give you guys the whole story behind that but that's a topic for another time, right? So I'm only saying that to let you know, like, obviously, I've been married, I've dated, all the things, I've been around men. I know men, but I have never, ever in all my years, okay, had any man ever ask me what I bring to the table. Like, I just be like, I don't even know if I would be, I'd be like, what? Wait, what? What? Say what now? But this guy that I was listening to on YouTube was saying, like, men don't ask a lady that, because it's like understood, I guess, you know? So it got me to thinking about this topic. And I guess I just been kind of like thinking about it for a little while now because I've been trying to figure out how exactly to come to y'all about this particular topic, this topic of being a lady and having grace, and having class and all of that stuff, right? And I'm not trying to like position myself to be some like expert on. Can y'all hear me okay? First of all, I need to do a sound check. Can y'all hear me okay? Y'all let me know something in the chat. Hold on, let me open up the chat. What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys and gals? Hey, daughters. Happy Wednesday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time you're watching. Okay, hold on, let me check. Happy Wednesday. Good morning, good afternoon. Y'all can hear me, child. Go ahead and like that video. Like the video. When you come in the room, speak, child. Y'all know what y'all been taught. Well, some of us ain't been taught, okay? Here, when you come into the room, speak, okay? Like that's just a polite thing to do. So what's up? Hey y'all. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, I was thinking about this, and I don't want to like position myself to be like this, like, you know what I'm saying, the expert on being a lady or anything like that. Um but I have, had times, where men have, including, my family members, have talked about that, talked about not only like being a lady, but also, would describe me as a lady. And so, hey, beautiful. Hey, Pam. So I wanted to kind of bring that because I don't really see that, right? And y'all know I'm all in these streets. Like I keep my ear to the ground, okay? Like I be knowing what's going on, okay? So like I watch a lot of different channels. I watch watch a lot of women um content creators and stuff like that, life coaches, all the whole nine yards, right? And I see a lot of people talk about like, okay, relationships and how to get a man and all of this stuff. And I think that, for the most part, we might be missing a lot when it comes to that, right? And I think it's because we don't really go back to the basics, to the very, very basics with it. And a lot of us can't, right? Because we haven't had like that, those foundational relationships, like our parents, um, to really like show us how to be, you know? And I don't know because like I said, I haven't even really dug into this topic and I'm going to, okay? But so, so I could be a lot more smart with this, so I could really provide value. But I just wanted to kind of introduce it. And the reason is because let me show y'all this. Hold on. So this is my second book that I'm currently editing. Okay. This is the one I decided would be the second book to be released in my memoir series. And it's called The Pastor's Daughter Objectified. Okay. Where the first one is called The Pastor's, hold on, let me show y'all. Oh god. The first one is The Pastor's Daughter Provoked, right? So this book, I talk about spiritual abuse, right? And how I discerned spiritual abuse from my father. And there are, when I did my research on this, there were 13 spiritual abuse tactics that have been identified by other people who were doing research in the area of spiritual abuse, right? So I felt like based on my experience and based on my observation and based on, my research, that there was like a missing tactic, right? And I wouldn't necessarily say it's missing because I mean, who really knows until you know, right? Until you've experienced it and you've witnessed it and you researched it and you say, okay, there's an aspect of this whole thing that's missing. And so what I discovered was that it was objectification that was missing. And so I added that. And I talk about that in my book, how I added objectification, right? So I have contributed based on my experience, my observation, and my research and my education that objectification is a key part of spiritual abuse that we haven't really dug into that much. Okay. So I took that tactic, and I took all of my work on The Pastor's Daughter Provoked and all of my experience in education, all of my research. And right now I'm getting a certification in religious trauma, right? So I'm very serious about this topic, right? I'm so serious that I'm investing money and time and effort, all of those things to make sure that I am very educated in this, right? So that's what I'm providing in the next book that I'm working on. 38 years for, ooh, honey. Yes, honey. Yes, 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 yes. You need to get the book. Boo. Um, and so that's why this book, this next version or this next volume in my memoir series has to be the daughter, the objectified daughter. Okay. So we're gonna be doing a whole series about the objectified daughter. But I wanted to kind of like introduce it or kind of tease it a little bit based on this concept of being a lady, right? Because that is an art, a a missing thing amongst us women, right? Amongst like even bringing up our daughters. And you guys, I ain't had no daughter. I'm still a little sad about that. You know what I'm saying? Still a little sad. It's like Jesus. You gave all these people these daughters who shouldn't be having daughters. You ain't give me one. Oh, oh God. Anyway, I'm over it. So anyway, I didn't have any daughters, but I am very, very passionate about daughters. I feel like I have daughters everywhere, like I have my nieces, and my friends' kids, my friends' daughters and stuff like that. So, I have a way of kind of like giving, I feel like I had so much to give to a daughter, but I think at least this is my consolation is that okay, I didn't have a daughter because I needed to share this knowledge amongst all daughters, many daughters, as many daughters as will hear me, and so that's the perspective that I want to come from, um not necessarily that I want you guys to see me as a mother figure, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if we could go back to the basics of realizing that we are all daughters, and even when we become mothers, we are still daughters. And if we think of ourselves in that way, and we encourage the world at large to think of women, girls, females as daughters, then the violence that is committed against us will decrease. The dehumanization that is happening to women in real time will decrease. We'll be able to raise awareness of these things. What my main concern is the violence against women and girls. And I think a large part of that comes from the fact that we don't see ourselves as daughters. We don't see ourselves like back to the very basics of things, right? Because one thing that most people, and it doesn't matter what culture you come from, what is most common is that people care about their kids, right? Now, we all know that not everybody does, but the majority of people do. And that's a place where we can always connect. And there is just nothing more special than a daughter. And if we can get people to realize, that we are daughters, but we are not daughters for the sense for the benefit of ownership or being objectified, right? To use our daughters to either live out our, years that we regret, or, to be like little trophies for us or be like figures for us or anything like that, right? But really with the sense, the essence that I am raising someone who will produce, and when I'm raising someone who will produce, right? Because we conceive, we have babies, we reproduce, right? If we think of it that way, then you think, okay, well, what seed am I planting in my daughter? And that seed, whatever seed that is that I'm planting, will produce fruit generation and generation and generation and generation. And I think that when a lot of people, especially men, when they blame women for, or blame females, blame us for things that are happening, I think that we need to take responsibility. We need to take accountability, because that's taking our power and realizing that, yes, like we have the power to change what is happening and what is being reproduced generation after generation after generation. So if we go back to the basics, right? We go back to looking at ourselves and each other as daughters, then it brings a humanity back into the equation. It makes you think, this is somebody's daughter. You know, I can't just abuse her. I can't just talk to her any kind of way. I can't just handle her any kind of way. This is somebody's daughter, you know? And so I'm trying to bring this concept to life, and really have people to understand, including us, right? Because really it starts with us. If we start to embody this essence of a daughter, right? And eventually, as we grow, we are growing into ladies, not just women, not just females, not girls, but we are someone's daughter. We will always be someone's daughter. There is a certain plight, a certain responsibility that comes with that. And so this book, The Pastor's Daughter Objectified, is is kind of like me really putting my heart and soul into daughters everywhere to help us to realize like who we are. Because even, in the situation where my father is who he is, right? He's not going to change. He's this person. And even, me as his daughter didn't really have the power to change him, right? I'm still somebody's daughter, right? Like, my father is really only my earthly father. Like, I have a heavenly father. Like, I'm God's daughter. So are you really gonna treat God's daughter like that? But then I also embody that, right? So I don't carry myself as some girl or some female or a woman, I carry myself as a daughter, right? When my mom sees, even when my father sees me, there won't be that, like, oh that's that's my daughter. You know, when I see myself, I won't. I still have that, like, that sense of pride about myself. That sense of, I care about how I carry myself and how I'm perceived, and how I present. I care about that, and I think that a lot of us don't see ourselves in that light. And so if we go back to the basics of, like, okay, I'm somebody's daughter, right? And even if I had no parents, even if my parents gave me up, even if they abandoned me and they disowned me, and or they won't change for me, and they abused me, or they did all the things, they're just my earthly parents, right? But I am God's daughter. I'm a divine daughter. And, like, I'm gonna carry myself as such. And not only that, but I will be treated as such. But because I carry myself as such, I'm just automatically gonna be treated as such. That's just how that works. I don't think there's been, experiences that I've had where, I felt like, maybe I've been disrespected, or, because, there's always gonna be a fool out there. It's always gonna be a clown out there. It's gonna always be a dummy out there. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I haven't experienced a lot of the things that I see other daughters experience. I just haven't. No man has ever asked me what I bring to the table. You know? Like, that's weird to me. That is weird to me. Because if you don't see me, okay, and know what I bring, then there's something wrong with how I'm presenting myself. There is something wrong with how I carry myself. Do y'all feel me on that? Thank you. Thank you, Sister Pam. Daughter of the Most High God. You see, you feel me. Why do these bots always get on here? That's what be crazy to me. These bots get on here, y'all. They be wanting to act up, and I got to go to blocking. Y'all, if y'all ever see any of these comments on my page with links and stuff like that, please do not click on that, because that's like that's scam and stuff like that, So please do not click on that. Okay, y'all? Do not click on that. Oh, girl, you got a daughter. It's like she's my only child. And it's really like my mother, she told me, like, many years ago, that she only had as many sons as she had because she was trying for a daughter. And I have three brothers that are older than me. And then after my mom had me, she had her tubes tied, but she had my brother, which, child, he is a whole miracle. That's my boo. Okay. That's my little son too. No, he not little though. He bigger than me. But like, I just had so much, like, just pride in him, like, almost like he was my son, too. But my mom has so much, like, pride and joy in me. And she told me, like, she bought me clothes and stuff before I was ever born. Child, she said for like 2 years plus of your life, you was already, like, your wardrobe was, like, set and overflowing, child, because she just had that much love for me even before I was born. And I think that is what I know, that has been so instrumental in the woman I am today, the daughter I am today, the lady I am today. Um, and just seeing her in the essence that she walks in, the excellence that she walks in. She's a lady. So I know that a lot of us haven't had that. We haven't had that vision of a lady. We haven't had a lady to love us, and to really show us how to be. And so I feel like I'm taking on that mantle a bit, because it is a lost art. And even though, like, my way of being is celebrated even among women, amongst other daughters, um I don't think we talk about it enough, and we don't demonstrate it enough for other daughters to be able to emulate the essence of being a lady, the art of being a lady. But in order for us to get there, right, we got to go back to the basics. We have to go back to the basics of realizing that we are somebody's daughter, and not in an earthly sense. Because I think it's that earthly sense that's been getting us all, like, warped and messed up, right? It's it's realizing that we are daughters of the Most High God, like Sister Pam said, okay? We are daughters of the Most High God. And if we think about ourselves as God's daughters, then you're going to be like, wait, what? What I bring to the table? Nobody's going to ask you that. They're not going to ask you. A man is not going to ask you what you bring to the table when you carry yourself as the daughter that you are, God's daughters. No man is ever going to ask you that. And I don't know why, like, I do know why this has become a thing. It's because we have lost the art of being a lady. And we've lost the art of being a lady because we haven't even went back to the basics of being a daughter. That's what it is. Hey, Sheila. Hey, beautiful. We've lost that art. And if we don't see ourselves, right, as daughters, how do we expect anybody else to? And you know what, y'all, like, I mean, granted, men say things, right? Not to me, but they say things and I hear it. But we have said things, right, as women, I'm just going to say as women, we've said things about ourselves. Like we've cut ourselves down, right? We don't see ourselves as God's daughters. And I think that's been like the most disheartening thing. And that's why I feel so strongly about taking on this responsibility and this calling. It's really a pleasure. When I think about it, it's really a pleasure. It's my pleasure um, to show this side. Um, and I feel blessed to be able to. So it's not like it's a burden on me or anything like that. It's just, it was just the realization that like I have to do this. Like I need to do this. And then of course I know that other daughters, other ladies are going to step up and they'll do the same thing, right? But it's got to start somewhere. And I think that it starts with me in just showing you and speaking into your spirit, speaking into your heart and helping you to believe it in your mind and in every fiber of your being that you're a daughter. You are somebody's daughter. Okay. I created a whole shirt, like a merchandise line and everything that says, handle me with care. I am somebody's daughter, you know? Like, don't just treat me any kind of way. Don't just talk to me any kind of way. Don't feel like you could just put your hands on me. I'm somebody's daughter. I'm God's daughter. And and even if my father, isn't acting right, and he's saying that I'm lying or about calling him out or any of those things, like that's not going to stop me from being a lady. you know it's not going to stop me from realizing that I'm God's daughter ultimately. And I don't want it to do that to you either. Like I want you to realize who you are. I want you to know who you are, like in the way you move, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress, you know, the way you interact with people, that your very essence. I want you to get it down in you that you are somebody's daughter and that you shouldn't be talked to any kind of way, shouldn't be handled any kind of way. But that also means you can't talk to yourself any kind of way. You can't handle yourself any kind of way. But we got to get down to the basics. We have to know where it went wrong. And it went wrong in these foundational relationships, our relationships with our parents. It could have been your mother. For me, it was my father. But for you, it could have been whoever raised you. It could have been both of them. For those of us who are, unfortunate to have two terrible parents. It could have been both of your, look, I said both of them, it could have been both of them. But now you have a sister. You have another daughter in me that can really help you to understand and really grasp this essence of being a daughter first and foremost, right? And then developing into the lady that you desire to be, not something that I'm putting on you, like you gotta be like me or nothing like that, because that is not my ministry. That is not what I'm saying. Okay. What I'm saying is that you want to be who you want to be. And I know that if you're even being asked these questions of what you bring to the table, then you are clearly not the lady that you want to be. Because if you if you were the lady you wanted to be, then those questions would be mute. That you wouldn't hear them. You just wouldn't hear them. It just wouldn't happen. Just wouldn't ask that because it'd be clear. It will be clear in the very essence of who you are before you even open your mouth. It will be clear who you are and what you bring and what you add and not your usefulness, okay? Because we're not talking about your usefulness as a lady. No, this is your value. and value, honey. Ooh, child. To be valuable. Now that's a whole other. Ooh, child. That's a whole other. To be the answer to someone's prayers. That's value, honey. To be able to walk in the fullness of who you are, like that is value. So I figured, we got to get back down to the basics. We got to go back to like way way back, way back in time where the breakdown happened. And it happened when we came into this world as daughters. There was a disconnect that happened where we either lost sight or didn't have sight to see and to know who we truly are. So that's the topic, y'all. That's the topic. That's the mission. Cuz it's crazy, right? Is that when you really like realize like who you are, when you really walk in your divinity as a daughter, you are unstoppable. You are unstoppable. You are who you were created to be. Period. What y'all got to say about that? What do y'all have to say about that? And y'all, this YouTuber was so funny. Like he has me cracking up. But I'm telling you, I'm not gonna tell you who he is because I don't want y'all going over there. I don't want you going over there because it's a lot of content that's garbage. And I told you, like, a lot of us do not know how to filter things out, right? We'll like some of us we got the broke clock syndrome. Okay. We think, okay, because this person was right a couple times, then that means that they're right. And that's not the case. No, just because this person, there's a couple of nuggets that you could take away does not mean you need to consume the whole meal. And I really feel like this person is toxic. So I'm not going to recommend, to go listen to this person. I never recommend that any of the daughters on my channel go and watch any male channel because I think that we need to really like seriously filter out the men that we listen to. Because unless you are really walking in your divinity as a daughter, most of the content that you are seeing out there as far as like male life coaches, pastors, um these so-called call themselves some type of title, bishops, whatever they are, that's on social media telling you stuff, you don't know how to filter that out. Just like, I don't think that Kevin Samuels was saying everything wrong. He said some right things, right? But because you don't know how to filter it out, you were taking everything that he was giving and you were taking on that toxicity. And a lot of that is because our discernment is off. We haven't activated our gift because all of us have it. We were born with discernment. God gave us that. Um, but a lot of us have not activated. We haven't activated. We don't use it. That muscle isn't atrophy. It is not. It is a weak muscle that we have, and it's not working for us. Our discernment is not working for us. So a lot of that is because we really failed to activate and we failed to exercise that muscle of discernment. And I'm going to help you with that too. I've designed several courses on discernment. I have been working hard behind the scenes. I've been working real hard. Now, I have to admit, y'all, I am a one woman show here, right? I'm a one woman show. So, it takes me a while to get stuff out to y'all because I'm doing it myself and I have health issues. You guys know I have fibromyalgia, I have lupus. And so, I can't do everything my mind wants me to do. You know what I'm saying? Everything my mind be like, oh yeah, I could do that. Child, I can't. My body is gonna be like, yeah, no. And even now I'm tired, but I'm drinking a good old chai latte. You guys know, if you're on my Facebook, if you're not on my Facebook, go over there and find me on Facebook, Delores Michelle Peters. Um, and like my Facebook page too. I have some of the same content, but I have some different stuff on my YouTube page because that's where I can post more long form content. You can go over there and watch the case of the religious narcissist. You can catch episodes of my audio book and a lot of other content. I've done reviews on other content creators. Princella, the Queen Maker, I've done reviews on her stuff, which I'm going to do some more reviews on her stuff because there's a lot of her message that I want to echo. I want to echo it in my voice because I know that sometimes it's hard for people to hear her based on how she talks. She cusses and all of that stuff. And I know that, I have a lot of Christians who follow me, obviously, because I was heavily involved in my father's church. So I have a lot of people that I knew through church and, through ministry stuff, right? So, um, I always want to be sensitive to that. And, I don't want to like recommend, well, not recommend, but I don't want to send y'all over to places where I know you'll be offended, and you won't be able to hear the message because you're too busy being offended. You know what I'm saying? When, I can just give you the content in a different way, and just say it in a way where you can actually hear it and take it in. Um, and that's no dig on her, because she has her way, but I also have my way. And the message itself is what needs to be spread. So, I'll do that. I'll do that for you guys. Um, but like I was saying, you guys, I haven't, you know, did any real notes about this. This was just something that I caught on another YouTuber's channel, and I wanted to just kind of like use that to kind of segue into this um objectified daughter conversation because I think that a lot of us were objectified. And because we were objectified, and we'll talk about what objectified means and how that all plays out. This is not the video for that. But because we were objectified, we don't really know who we are. We've been living in the image of other people or the persona that someone gave us. Just like me, you guys, and even now I call myself the pastor's daughter because I need you guys to know that that's the persona that was given to me at birth. I don't know who I am, or I didn't. I do now, but I didn't know who I was beyond being the pastor's daughter. And even though I had done all these things, I went to the military, I became a captain, I retired, you know, um, I've got 3 degrees, actually 4 degrees, but we don't count one. It was a certificate. 3 formal degrees. And and just done all the things. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm all these things. But the persona and the image that I was born into was the pastor's daughter. And when I left the church in 2019, August of 2019, I was just trying to figure out, okay, well, who am I? You know, if I feel like, and I know that my father has been this whole thing, this whole persona that he's put on has been a facade. He's not a pastor, you know, but that's the mask that he's been wearing my entire life. So when I left the church, I was like, well, who am I? Who am I now? If I'm not if I'm not the pastor's daughter, if he's fake, am I fake? You know? And I think that, a lot of us go through this identity crisis of just trying to figure out like who we are. Who are we when our parents abandoned us? Who are we when our parents abused us and told us that they didn't want us? Who are we, when we've been abused by the very people who created us. Who am I? What does that mean for me? What does that mean for me as a daughter? And so I had to discover who I was by knowing who I was and figuring out who I was in God, right? Like, who is the daughter that God created me to be? Because the one that my father created me to be was a facade. It wasn't real. Like, I don't know who I am if my father's been this fake pastor my entire life, you know? And I think that that's what's going on with a lot of us is we just don't know who we are because our foundational relationships were had us all kind of discombobulated, distorted, disillusioned, and just not knowing who we are. So that's why I'm committed to doing this, to really helping daughters to realize who they are in God and their divinity, and how to really walk in that purpose. I didn't always know. And so I figured like if I went through this, then surely, other daughters are going through this too. And maybe, just maybe, we could form a community of daughters who are not sitting up here trauma bonding with each other and talking about, oh, our parents this and our parents that. No, like we talk about that. Yeah. But we are also moving forward in discovering, discerning, okay? Because that's really what it is. It's all about discernment, discerning who we are in God, right? And so that's what this book, this is my next book in the series. And you see right there, what is that on the cover? It's a toaster. It's a toaster. Why I put a toaster on the cover? And it's really good when you're writing a book. This is not official, an official book, right? Like not like this is already done. But it's always good to put an image on your work even before you're done with it. So that gives you an idea of what you're trying to convey. And what I'm trying to convey is that some of us have been operating in our toaster energy. We're no better, no more useful, no more valuable than a toaster. Are you a toaster, sis? I'm not a toaster, okay? I'm capable of much more than toasting some bread, okay? What people do with a toaster? Some people don't even leave it on their counter. I leave mine on the counter because my husband like to leave it out. Okay, okay. Sometimes you gotta give and take in a marriage. Okay, you gotta compromise. But I don't even like leaving the toaster out. But he does. So we leave the toaster out. Some people don't even leave their toasters out. They put that thing away until they need it. Until until its usefulness. And then they use it. And what do? Nobody has ever, I've never seen anybody be like, oh my God, this toaster. This is my precious toaster. I have to, this is my precious toaster. You know what I'm saying? This is the best toaster I've ever had. God gave me this toaster. You know what I'm saying? This toaster is divine. No. But we've been walking in some toaster energy. Toaster energy. I just made that up. We've been walking in toaster energy, y'all. Where we see ourselves as like, if we're not being useful, then what who are we? Who are we? No, no, sis. You're valuable. Not just useful. I mean, we're useful too, honey, okay? Because don't get it twisted. But we are valuable. And until now, your value hadn't even been realized. You don't even know your value. And we are expecting to go into relationships, okay? And someone asking us what we bring to the table. Well, you don't know because you don't even know your value. If you knew your value, you wouldn't even accept that question. You wouldn't even accept the question if you knew your value, sis. So we're gonna get into it. This is just, just a little precursor, just a little preview of the objectified daughter. It's like it's a syndrome. The objectified daughter syndrome. I just made that up too. Y'all, my eye is so irritated. So I had corrective eye surgery. It's called PRK. Don't ask me what that stands for, child. It's a long name. Anyway, so I had PRK back in 2010 when I was in the military. And y'all actually have better than perfect vision. It's like, what is it? 2020 is good. And I have like 2015, which is like sharp. It's like real good. But it's only 2015 when I'm doing an eye exam. When they got the lights low and they're doing all the things. It's only that good when I'm doing an eye exam. Like sometimes I still have to wear glasses now, since it's been how long is 14 years almost. So anyway, I had corrective eye surgery, and one of the trade-offs is I get dry eyes, right? I'm supposed to wear drops all the time, but y'all know me, child. I'm trying to do better with my medication. I'm trying to do better with the stuff I'm supposed to be, routinely doing. Well, I'm not really good at doing all my eye drops and stuff. So I have like this, I feel like a little dry patch coming on the top of this eye. And it's always this eye that acts up all the time. Did y'all remember when I ended up getting pink eye? Like, what was that? Like, probably like 6 months ago or something. I ended up getting pink eye. And so I put some drops in today, some of the medicated drops. But I still feel like this dry patch coming on. So I need to like make sure that I take that, and I need to take some allergy medicine because sometimes it's the allergens in the air that causes it. So if I tackle it by taking some allergy medicine and putting in my eye drops and the medicated drops too, then I should be able to get rid of it before it gets any worse, before it gets red and stuff. Because it's already kind of like if y'all can see, like it's already trying to like get a little red. And if I stop messing, like put my fingers in my eyes, that might help too. Child, I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to get my life together, child. Okay. So I'm gonna let y'all go, but I just wanted to, like I said, introduce that topic. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think about that. Obviously, if you know me, then it's never my intention to offend or anything like that. I know some people are going to get a little sensitive about this topic, especially when I talk about the lost art of being a lady. Some people will be like, well, what makes you think that you can talk about it? What makes you think? Well, if that's the attitude that you have, then maybe this isn't the place for you. But if you feel like, and you feel it in your spirit, and your discernment is kicking in, realize that I'm coming from a place of love, and I'm coming from a place of, really just being a girl's girl and just wanting to pour into other daughters, then you'll realize that, I never want to offend. And especially if I do offend, and y'all please tell me, okay? Because like, I mean, that's something I want to work on because I don't want to, I don't want to say anything that's going to offend my sisters. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to offend my sisters. So, like, that's never going to be, that's never going to be my heart, child. Okay, first of all, before we go, let's just take in the hair for a sec. Let's give her a moment. Okay. Okay. Micro locks. I'm getting a retie next week, y'all, because the hair is growing, honey. The hair is growing and thriving, and she has a whole vibe of her own. Should I name my hair? Do y'all name y'all hair? Should I name her? One of my sorority sisters names her hair. She names her hair, y'all. So should I name it? And if I should name my hair, what should I name her? Okay, what should I name her? Cause she thriving. She she ain't scratching and surviving, honey. She thriving. But anyway, so I love y'all, and I guess I will just see y'all a little bit later when I'm gonna do some. I need to do some editing. I got another meeting tonight. Is y'all like I'm very serious about what I'm doing. This message that I'm putting out. I'm very serious about the work that I'm doing. And because I'm serious, I'm putting money behind what I do. I'm putting education into what I do. I'm working on two certifications currently. Like I'm working on the religious trauma certification. And then if you guys know Bezel Vanderkolk, he is the man that wrote The Body Keeps the Score. And I'm also getting this certification in his course, and I forgot what it's called, but it's how trauma affects the body. And so I'm getting a certification in that because I want to make sure you guys that I'm giving you the latest and the greatest and the best information based on the experts that are out there so that I can really provide value. So this is not a game to me. I'm not someone who is out here calling myself something and I'm not first doing what I'm asking you all or will eventually ask you all to do. And I'm not just someone who is claiming that I know what I don't know. Like I'm actually getting education in this. You guys know I am a nationally certified counselor. Okay? Like this is not a game. I am very serious about speaking into you. You know, you guys know I got baptized. Okay, first of all, let's just have a moment for the baptism. For the baptism. I got some footage I'm gonna show y'all too. I had to go watch the footage. It was so good. But anyways, y'all, I'm a whole changed woman. Do you hear me? So yeah, I'm gonna bring all of that to y'all. And I just want you to know that I'm very, very serious about what I do. Like I am very serious about what I'm doing. And I love y'all and I'm serious about that, okay? And I'm showing you um by showing you my healing process, being open and transparent about that. And letting you know like the good, the bad, and the ugly on in all of it, you know? So I guess that's it for now, child. Let me sing to y'all. You are important to me. I need you to survive. I love y'all. Bye bye.